Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. What you're about to see are 3 different clips and 3 different sections of 3 different videos that are currently fully on Patreon from the 1975, one of my all-time favorite bands. So if you want to see the full versions of this, go check out the Patreon right now. Let's get into the video. Even though this is a live performance, I kind of like the fact that it kind of still has a music video feel to it, just in the sense of like you're already kind of feeling like, hey, let's set the mood, let's show the Oh Caroline, create a vibe before we just start playing.
Cause baby, I'll do anything that you wanna. I'll try anything that you wanna. I'll try. Cause you're on my mind. Oh, Caroline, I wanna get it right this time.
Pretty impressive, I gotta say, that Matty is leading that guitar riff with that funky rhythm while he's singing, because the singing's pretty steady, typical rhythm, but then the guitar riff has that funky riff, so it's pretty impressive that he's actually able to counteract each other with the smooth riff with the funky rhythm. Tough to do, so that is impressive. I would have expected the other guitar player holding on that main riff and Matty doing more of like extra stuff, but it's actually opposite.
Oh, Caroline.
If you listen to the 1975, you'll recognize how incredible the hi-hat work that he does is. It's just intricate riffs on the hi-hat that I've noticed it through a lot of the work. It's like, wow, man, he's really working that hi-hat.
Oh, Caroline, I wanna get it right this time.
Oh, I would love to see the guitarist pedal board back there. Come on, show me the pedal board. I'd love to see it.
Oh, Caroline, you sing it, baby.
A lot of the 1975's music is really repetitive. It's a lot of the same riffs throughout the entire track. So it's really interesting how they keep you engaged as a viewer, as a listener, while it's pretty repetitive. This right here is Wintering by the 1975. Let's see what we got.
It's just like, it should start. It's just come straight in. Just be like.
She walks down the stairs, feeling herself, looking like she just won a court case.
Okay, can we talk about this really quick, just in the intro? I really enjoy when artists leave stuff like that behind the scenes kind of concept. It's a great way to describe it. Almost like a behind the scenes concept. He's talking about cueing the band and like, hey, I think you should just come in here, leave it how it is, just come in right there in this section. Like, literally talking about cueing the band, then that goes straight into the actual song. I always find that so clever. Almost gives you a sneak peek into the band, like how they were recording it. It's like behind the scenes in the recording, which I think is so cool.
He's got a funny way of using the same 4 chords for every song he makes. And he's got a bill and he plays with the words like a skill. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Very interesting, if we just rewind it a little. Heavy panning, very heavy in the right ear. Almost actually feels kind of lopsided. I heard a really interesting quote. I was in the interview. I listened to the whole interview with Zane Lowe and Matty Healy. Of course, I'm a huge 1975 fan, so like I consume all the content that they put out. They were talking about the previous album and then this album, and they were describing them as one. Notes on a Conditional Form is like you're in the movie theater watching the movie Transformers. There's a lot going on, chaotic, and then this one is still telling a story, and you're in the theater, but you're in the watching a play. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a really cool way of describing this sound, because it is. If you listen to the 1975, I've been a big fan of this stuff for a while, and it's interesting to hear the change in progression. You can actually, if you were to listen to their album from the 1975 album, which is their debut album, to where they are now, you can really hear this interesting maturity happen in their sound, in the sense that they came from this very raw, harsh kind of sound. Every album slowly gets a little, I want to quote unquote say softer, but it's in a more mature kind of, almost like you're listening to, I want to actually say, if you like start in like 1900 America, as the decades progress and you get more sophisticated kind of thing, that's kind of almost how I feel like Gang style vocals.
I can work on, my heart hurts. I get home on the 23rd. Said Alex is a sculptor and Olivia's been a vegan since 10.
Again, see what I said? Like, I'm talking like, man, it's like, I have no idea who Alex is. I don't know who Olivia is, but like, you can still relate to it. It's really interesting. The specificity of lyrics are a very interesting thing for me as a songwriter to try to understand, because like, it doesn't make logical sense. You want to write a song that everybody can relate to, but then the songs that everybody relate to are the ones that are more specific. Man, whenever I hear the music, it makes me want to make music myself. And again, like, they ignite something about my creativity. I don't know what it is. They're so good though.
wishing that it's Christmas. This is gonna be a nightmare. I just came for the stuff and not to argue about nothing but my words. I'll be home on the 23rd.
So many interesting sounds throughout this track. Like, what instrument is that? Like, it sounds like a guitar, but is it a guitar? Is it a sitar? Is it a? It's too bright to be like. It just makes you like question like the sounds that they do. And so such a cool storytelling song, and also just such cool sounds in this in this track, man. So good. Being such a 1975 fan, I completely tremendously regret not going to see them in concert. Well, it's not even fair because I didn't even know who they really were. They came to this venue called the Paramount on Long Island. It's like literally 15-20 minutes away from me. Played it, I think, in 2014. I didn't really know who they were, but like my friends had said that they went to this concert, and I discovered who they were like a year later, and I'm like, shoot, man, it's like a 2,500 person venue. It's like a small venue. It would have been so sick to see them at that time, and I'm so mad because now they're playing like places like Madison Square Garden, and in fact, I'm actually going to be away from when they're in Madison Square Garden, so I want to see where they're touring, because I wonder if I could travel to a different state to see them. But man, like, come on, shoot. So like, one of my biggest regrets in the music industry is not seeing them. Oh, Mohegan Sun. Oh shoot, yo, that's sick. I love Mohegan Sun. Man, Madison Square Garden is so crazy. Where else they go? Nashville. That's cool. Houston, Atlanta. Oh, it's so crazy. The Forum, Denver, Colorado, the Mission Ballroom. So sick, man. I want to see them live so bad. As a tremendous 1975 fan, I literally watch every single piece of content that they put out. And I truly believe that Matty Healy and the rest of the band members, but Matty obviously being the frontman, kind of being a little bit more in the public eye, is a true artist. Like, I don't think you see many artist musicians anymore, where in the sense of like, there's great musicians, but they might not be necessarily artists in the sense of like, if you look at Matty and all the stuff that they do as a band, it's so cohesive and well thought out that like, it's their art. So I watch even the most ridiculous interviews, including this one. I love these interviews. I'm a big fan of the Chicken Shop dates in general. They're so ridiculously awkward and fun and funny that I just love watching them. So when I saw that Matty Healy was on, I was like, yo, shoot, of course I have to watch this, man. So let's see what we got.
Do you know about that bit? Is this an in-joke?
Is it the what?
That I like this?
Yeah, I know.
How did you know that?
I just know you like that. I'm very familiar with you and your likes and your dislikes.
It's like Nardwuar.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yo, shout out to Nardwuar. That is a deep music reference. Do you know who Nardwuar is? He has an interview that's been around for a long time. He's like the guy that finds these crazy facts about artists, and they talks about them with the artists, and the artists freak out. They're like, yo, how did you know that?
So you were born in 1975.
No.
You know Liz Truss was born in 1975. And DJ Khaled, so you're in good company.
I was born in the 80s.
I'm quite picky, so I wouldn't have asked you if I wasn't in love with you.
For a second, I genuinely felt a flirt until you did the love bit.
What? No.
That was actually a thing.
Oh, it was good.
Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous. I love
do you
this,
think,
man.
Shaggy?
As somebody does interviews, I love this, man. It's so good. It's so good. But the best part is like, again, as somebody that interviews people, like, you know what they're cutting out so much content, which makes you want more as a listener. Which actually would be a cool concept. You know that they're filming for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Hands down. Setup time probably even more. Production is typically slow, especially like when you get to this high level production. I guarantee that they were at least there for 3 hours for this 8-minute video. So you know that they're at least cutting out, I want to say 50 to 7% of it. What would be interesting concept is if they kept it how they did it, but then released like a podcast version, like an actual version of here's the actual 40-minute interview. Because I want to hear what the follow-up question was to that, you know what I mean? Like, I want to hear the conversation, but I also kind of like the aspect of where they don't give it to you because you're like, wait, I want to know more.
There's almost too many words.
I tried to cut down on the too many words on this album.
Really? Do people say, just please stop with the words?
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit, because it does get a lot. My favourite lyric at the moment is,
People do say that all the time.
exactly.
Are you needy?
Yeah, we're all a bit needy.
Yeah. You just try and touch me.
Well, I thought there has to be a moment, so it was like, I'm a bit needy.
So my
You have
hand.
low iron.
Yeah, low iron. So
That's
I've
a
got cold
turn off.
hands. Why don't you buy me some iron supplements?
Or some gloves.
It's so ridiculous. This show is so ridiculous.
Thank you, bye.
I'm going.
See ya.
It's so ridiculous, man. It's such a brilliant concept of a show, man.